Hello and welcome to Jimmerish Femme, the in-car edition.
Hi.
We are just driving into traffic and we'll probably be just sitting in traffic, not doing anything.
So exciting.
We were planning on driving from your hometown, Tanya. Hi, Tanya.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Coburn.
Well, yes, ish.
Or is just Coburn Central your hub of choice?
It's a pretty good shopping centre. I'm quite, So yeah, it is my local, you could say. So I wouldn't say I live in Coburn though.
Yeah.
But lucky, so James just got a new car. And did your car just turn off and then restart?
Yeah.
That's
Save
crazy.
fuel.
Oh my God.
It's a bit annoying though, because sometimes you don't need it to stop.
Yeah,
Yellow.
but that's crazy. My car is so old. We could never do a podcast in my car driving.
It was quite quiet, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty quiet.
I didn't have enough money to get, a hybrid that actually runs on a battery most of the time.
No, it's quiet. My car's like, you can hear it coming. So we're never doing a podcast live from Tanya's car.
No.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I had to justify the cost of a car. I have to now, basically this is now Jimmerish Femme Studios. I have to record my podcast from.
Why not? You sit in the car all day and just think about things to talk about. Be chatty Cathy's.
Yeah, so what? We're in the car, we're trying to head to Madrid, but there's a massive traffic jam. It's like 7 p.m. at night, so this is like what people are probably trying to get home from work and they're still stuck in traffic. I'm guessing.
Doesn't that just tick you off?
So maybe we'll get to the next exit and that will be an hour done.
Yeah, maybe. If it is, that's crazy. I mean, at least we've got something to do. I mean, it's annoying for you, but we've not really got anywhere to be specifically, so that's fine.
Yeah. Tanya, how are you?
I'm alright. It's been one of those weeks. I feel like, this week has just gone ridiculously quick, and I almost don't know what I've been up to. Like, it's, I feel that way when you have a busy weekend, sorry. So it's meant to be your break time, but then you don't, and then you're just like, oh, fuck, it's Thursday again. So, yeah, I think that's probably what my week's been a bit like, but it's been a little bit of one of those weeks. Do you know what I mean? I just had like one of those Mondays, like actual Mondays. I'm not really, you know how some people are really like complaining about how shit their day's been?
Yeah.
You know those people that really just like to take it and run because one thing happened and they're just like, oh my God, like Facebook statuses and whatever else.
Yeah.
And I'm not one of those people. I feel like generally I kind of walk around, I'm like, oh, that might have happened, and I'll whinge about it, but then I'll get over it. Or I don't really think about it because something else good happened. But Monday, I swear, was just one of those days where it was just like I was late for like class, and then I had...
Why?
Because...
You just got slept in? Or
no, because basically I have a puppy, I don't know if I mentioned her before.
The Jack Russell?
The Jack Russell, yes. Mimi, who's adorable. But basically she is the cutest little thing, but obviously she's still a puppy, so she tends to shit and pee in random places, inconvenient places nonetheless. And
do you have a backyard?
Yeah, and we try and take her out as much as but sometimes she just wants to, and because I call her a sneaky shitter because dogs they don't like, obviously they hide. So we anyway, this is a great story to start everyone off. I apologize in advance. It's kind of gross. Basically, the floor was really wet from my shower and I was in a hurry, and I've put a towel on the floor. And it's like a dark coloured towel. And I've gone to I got dressed, and I came back and put a bit of makeup on, whatever, and I'm like, cool, I'm ready to go. And I was like, cool, I have to take her bed outside and feed her, and then I can go. So I've gone to take her bed outside, and I've turned around, and I'm like, is that dirt on the floor? What is that?
Yeah.
And I've traced it back to the bathroom, and I'm like, fuck off. Basically, it's not dirt, it's shit.
Oh, dear.
And I'm like, where has this come from? Traced it back to the bathroom. She must have snuck into the bathroom whilst I was getting dressed or whatever, done her business, and then because it was a dark coloured towel, I didn't see it. So it must have been between the folds of this towel, and I've stood on it and then I've travelled around the house.
And you didn't smell it?
No, because it was like it must have been between the towel.
Oh, right.
So it's just like, yeah. So like it kind of masked it for like 10, like, because I wasn't in the bathroom that long. I just put on like a bit of face and then went to leave. And a bit of face, and then I've had to like go back and clean up the shit and then mop, and like I was so late, but I was like, are you fucking serious? And I was like, what do I do with this towel? I threw it out. I didn't know what to do with it. I just threw it in the bin. I was like, this is going, it's bin day in a couple of days, that's it. And then it's just one of those where you're like, oh, what else? Oh, I cracked my phone screen. I dropped my phone, cracked my screen.
Did you have it in a case?
And then I got a parking ticket. Yep, I had it in a case.
A rubber case like this?
No, it's kind of hard.
Well, that doesn't do anything, does it?
Well, I don't really know.
It just transfers the...
Well, yeah, but it was better than the other one I had in terms of defence. But I was going to buy like a gel one the weekend that just passed, but it was so busy. Like a gel, not a gel case, like a screen protector at least, so like the thicker ones. And I was just so busy I didn't get a chance to. And I was like, of course. And then I dropped my phone and it cracked. It's fabulous. I mean, it's still like usable, but yeah. And then it's pain. And then I got a parking ticket.
This is all Monday morning, or just this week?
Monday. This is all Monday. Not all Monday morning, but all Monday.
Yeah.
And then I got a parking ticket at the end of the day as well.
In Leaderville?
Yeah. Just to top off my day.
Wow.
Yeah. I cried at some point during the day as well. I don't know at what point it was, but it was just one of those days. And I was like, really? I was like, I never really come home and be like, that was shit. I might be like, that was hard, but I was literally just like, I'm done. Yeah. I'm like, I got in the house and was like, it's like $300 worth of like...
Damage,
but yeah, that was my Monday. But that's not really what I've...
So that was just Monday?
That was just Monday. So
wow.
I feel like maybe I've just blocked out the rest of the week. No, it's not been that bad. It's okay. But that was... I mean, it's kind of funny. The puppy story is funny afterwards. But at the time, I was like, are you serious? And she knew. She ran off somewhere. And then I've gone to find her. And she's just chilling on the bed. I'm like, get out of there. Pretend you're all innocent and cute and whatnot. But I know. I know all about you. Yeah, so that's a Mimi story. She's hilarious though. She's so quick. She keeps skidding everywhere, and she fell off the couch. she keeps falling off the couch because she thinks she's just jumping, but instead she'll like slide right off the edge. It's really amusing. I mean, I don't know if do you have a dog?
My parents have a puppy.
Oh, what kind of puppy? We're gonna have puppy dates.
A black lab. And
Labradors are my absolute favourite.
It's chewed through about $400 worth of headphones, I think.
Why did you leave them about?
She's just had her year anniversary in my family.
Labradors are the best. I love them. But yeah, puppies, they chew on everything. That's why I don't really let... Because Mum's like, oh, you don't let her sleep in your room. No. No, thank you. She's just going to pee somewhere randomly, and then I'm going to have to find she's eaten something and chase her out. I feel like the bad parent though. Like they're all like, oh, you know, but let her. And I'm like, no, you can't. You have to be strict. And they're like, oh, come on. I'm like, no. When she's annoying later, then you'll be sorry that you didn't listen to me, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So last week we were talking about me going to try these red velvet pancakes at the Avenue in Leaderville.
Yes. You know, I feel like I was meant to go there on Monday, but whatever, it didn't happen. And I was sitting there going, is that the same place that Tanya was?
Why didn't it happen?
Well, I just told them I had to work. And I said I would only go if they messaged me and told me exactly the time and place to be. Right. Otherwise,
was this a date?
No, it was just a catch up with some friends, which from the wedding, because I'd already seen them at the wedding, so I don't need to have another catch up. Yeah. I would be pleasant, but because I had work, I was like, only if you actually organise it down to tea, so I'm not sitting around wasting time. Yeah, no, fair enough. But I had like a major deadline on Monday night, and I had to just get stuff done. Yeah. Oh, those days. Speaking of, I
after this, I have to finish an assignment, but that's great.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's good.
If we ever
come back. We'll just have a 3-hour-long podcast.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so the pancakes were amazing.
Oh, you got to have them finally.
I went and had them, and we because I figured we were having a breakfast rehearsal thing, and it was a bit early to kind of have, because I wasn't sure how sweet they were, so we were like, we'll go halves in the baked eggs, because we love baked eggs.
What are baked eggs?
What are baked eggs?
Yeah.
It's like...
As in you put an egg in an oven?
Yeah. With some other stuff. So this
Has it already been hard-boiled before?
No. So it gets baked.
Just crack an egg and put it in the oven?
With in a little pot with other stuff.
Oh, okay.
So this one had feta and chorizo and all that kind of stuff.
So it's kind of like a frittata.
Onion. Yeah, kind of, yeah. Yeah, I'd say so. But then saucy or whatever. But the place that used to be there, 50ml, used to do really good baked eggs. So we were like, okay, we'll try theirs. And then we'll do... and
so you're talking about 50ml. That was the place you used to go. Is it owned by the same people?
I'm not sure. I've been meaning to ask them.
They happen to have all the same recipe.
Yeah, I've been meaning to ask
menu.
them. Because, no, the menu's not the same. It's more food. This one's more food. So maybe it's not owned by the same people. Because 50ml owned Greens & Co. As well. So, I don't know, maybe they sold 50ml. I loved 50ml because I just liked the vibe. But...
Is that the same place? Was it Cafe 130 it used to be before?
I'm not sure. But my director was like, I always felt dirty in there. I was like, okay. Well, I'm safe to say you like the new place better. I like it. So we ordered it and we're like, we'll go halves. And it was sweet, but it wasn't overly sweet. And the sauce that they used on it, so basically just tasted like a cupcake with this frosting on top and a bit of ice cream. It was good. It was really nice. And they're only $13 or something. I got a
How big are they?
I think I got about 3 pancakes. So it's not sickeningly massive, but
how big is a pancake?
Oh, average size, maybe
like a McDonald's one.
Yeah.
Same
actually,
size.
yeah, about hotcake size.
Yeah.
And they're red velvety. So,
I looked up red velvety and it sounded like it's just colouring.
Yeah. So what? Yeah. Did you? But there must be something else because
some people use beetroot juice, and I'm like, okay, to colour it. And I'm like, well, that sounds like a thing, beetroot juice.
But what's with the texture? The texture's different, though. I swear there must be something else.
Maybe it's just a psychological thing. You just go, oh, the red texture's like flesh.
Maybe. Oh, whoa. I mean, I don't think we'd get that far. It's yeah, I don't know. There's just a different texture about it. Maybe it is just the red. No, don't shatter my dreams, James. It's not just having a red food dye, okay? Let's not shatter my dreams. But yeah, that was my food. And they do nice coffee. The coffee was quite nice too. So would recommend. I know that the Luna in Leaderville is also playing Purple Rain on Friday.
Oh, right.
Yes.
The Prince thing.
Yeah.
I started watching
crazy.
That because it was up on, Stan on Netflix or whatever. It was like, oh, you got to watch it now, man.
Yeah.
And I started watching it, but it was too late at night, and I was like, this looks like fun, but I'm going to fall asleep into it.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
So I went to bed.
I've never seen it, so I'm not going to watch it on Friday night at the Luna, but I will watch it soon. Because it's meant to be amazing. So
apparently, there's a meteor shower on Friday night, and I was thinking of going to the observatory to.
Really? That's what, tomorrow night?
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's in Gingin though. But I figured now that I have a more theoretically reliable car, as in a new car.
Oh, well, theoretically, yeah. Sweet.
I feel safer driving out there.
How far is Gingin?
It's probably 90 minutes out of north of Perth.
Okay. Far enough.
Probably the equivalent of Bunbury distance up north, maybe. I don't know. It could be less.
Yeah. So far enough, though.
But if it's traffic like this all the way.
Oh my god.
So
I don't know what's going on.
And then I want to might go down south straight after, so I'm going the opposite direction.
What? You really like driving, do you?
No, it's just because my parents are going to be in Perth this weekend, so we're swapping houses.
Oh, they live down south?
Yeah.
Did not know that. Whereabouts down south?
Peppermint Grove Beach. It's sort of halfway between Busselton and Bunbury.
Oh, okay. Nice. Did you grow up there, or did they move down there?
They're sort of... My dad is retired, and Mum is planning retirement. So when Dad retired, they built a house down there, and she's hoping to retire there in a few years.
Well, I love it down south. I have not been since... I went around Christmas, I guess. Yeah, Christmas, New Year's time.
I feel terrible because I'm like, it's just such it's like a massive privilege to have like a family house down there.
Yeah.
And I just don't take advantage of it.
That's it. Well, then you drive down in the opposite direction and you go to that house, James. You go.
Well, I also volunteered to work on a film set, but I haven't got a message about that, so that's probably not going to happen.
Oh. Well, unless they message you last minute, which,
Oh, yeah, probably they will.
It is quite likely.
Just as I've packed the car and...
Basically, you're like, I'm going on holiday. What's it called? What have you been doing this week? What's up with you?
Well, I guess in terms of consuming, it's like car hunting, obviously, because I had to get a new car.
I thought you already got it and you were just waiting for it last time we spoke.
Yes, but I literally had signed the papers before I drove to you. So I hadn't had the chance to discuss it.
So tell the listeners what this car is.
Oh, look, it's a...
What is it? For people that are into that.
Skoda.
Right.
Fabia.
So it's European.
And it's, it's like Czech Republic or Hungarian or something.
Skoda.
And, but it's Skoda is owned by Volkswagen. So it's basically a Volkswagen, but with Eastern European styling, which means it looks funky.
Yeah, Eastern European.
In the not good way.
And it's white.
It's white.
It is
practicality
white.
purposes.
Yeah, it's a very interesting colour.
I've spent a lot of money to get it to be white.
Really? What other colour was it?
I could have done a deal on like a coloured one, but I wanted white.
Oh, no.
And,
should have gone colour.
And these cars, actually, you can get the roof a different colour, kind of, to make it look like an old classic Mini.
Oh, okay.
But we drove one and they look kind of... They attract too much attention, I think.
Right.
Because they're a bit too cool. And, I was considering... I mean, this is car talk. And we used to have like a car-themed podcast, I think, which this would be a big subject. But, like, I'm a courier, and my day job is a courier, so I need to have a car that's like super fuel efficient, because the more money you save on fuel, the more money you can put towards paying the car off.
True.
And also you want it to be reasonably nice because you spend your whole day in it. And it also has to be really cheap because I'm not paid very much. And so originally I was considering the VW Polo, and I'm a bit of a tech geek, so I wanted something that like you can plug your iPhone into and it works. Not one of these cars that's like, oh, maybe it'll work.
Yeah.
And so I literally looked up the cars that are most compatible with the iPhone.
Oh, that is a bit tech geeky.
Got that list, and that's where I started. I didn't even consider anything that wasn't like a good compatibility with.
Yeah.
So I was my first thing that came up. I didn't even was a VW Polo, which is the cheapest VW you can get. It has all the gadgets and stuff like that. And I was like, yep, I just need a car really fast. Let's go to the dealer. They're going to do us a deal on a demo model, because they had a demo model on their website. And we got there and they're like, oh, that's sold out, but we'll match the price of the demo model, which is pretty good. And and then we got to the car and we had a test drive, and I sat in it, and it's like the world's smallest car.
Which
is
great.
Cool once you're in it, because it's very easy to get into a parking spot. But getting in and out, which I'm doing all the time, my knees would give out in a year that time. But I really liked the car. It drove really nicely. Everything else about it was great. It was a great price. But so I was like, you know what? Maybe I can, if I can jam the seat right down.
You're pretty tall though.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think.
Yeah. If I jam the seat right down, it was just okay. So I was like, okay, well, I just can't see any better cars that I like more, so I'll just get it. But I'll sleep on it. And I was up all night, then Googling, and then people were like, oh, if you like the VW Polo, get the Skoda, because it's the exact same car, it's just a little bit bigger. It's got the same engine, same gadgets in it. And I'm like, what the hell is a Skoda? I've never heard of one. Turns out it's a Czechoslovakian brand of Volkswagen. And it's barely sold here. You had to go to Barbagallo as part of their, exotic range collection, even though it's like a cheap runabout car. And I went there.
It's exotic.
And they're like, oh, okay, we don't sell them, because they're Barbagallo, they do exotic cars, we don't sell them in white.
So they're all in colours.
And I was like, no, I saw on your website. It's like, oh no, that's the Mandra Barbagallo style. They sell them down there because it's a bit lower socioeconomic.
What?
No, he didn't say that, but that's what I'm guessing.
Oh my god!
Because they literally didn't have any Skodas in stock in their Perth store. They didn't have all the, low suspension, fancy alloy wheels, and fancy colours and all that kind of stuff. And which I just didn't want and couldn't afford. And the actual reviews said that all that stuff makes the car worse because the suspension's so low. You're like going every bump and stuff like that. So I was like, no, I don't want that. But I did want this one car that they had in Mandra. And he's like, okay, I get this up to you, but because it's, the salesman in Mandra's trying to sell it, we can't do you a good price on it. So I had to, I barely didn't get a very good price for it.
Oh, well, could you not have just gone to Mandra to pick it up?
But the base model Skoda has all the features that the Polo with a $5,000 add-on pack has. So if I think of it that way, I'm saving $5,000 on what I would have had to spend on the Polo to get all the features. So
true.
I didn't feel that bad, and the car was delivered in a couple of days. So
true. And now you have a new car.
Yeah, and now I'm in debt for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I don't bother. I'm really fussed about cars, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not. The only car I like are Teslas. So I've talked about them before, right? Teslas, they're electric cars, all electric.
I feel like possibly, maybe you might have mentioned it.
But even if you pre-ordered a Tesla now, it won't come for like 3 or 4 years. So I figure I can keep this car, win the lottery some point in the future, put my deposit down, and then when this is ready to sell off, I get a Tesla.
Yeah, that's a plan. I feel like that'll work for you.
I doubt I'll even live that long, quite honestly.
Because James is actually 95.
Yeah.
He just has a very young voice.
So that's one thing I'm consuming. I tried to rewatch the Batman trilogy for some reason. It's just, I was looking, I needed to watch something.
One, yeah. I haven't really ever seen the first one, I'm pretty sure.
I watched the first one and the second of the first one, and it was quite enjoying the whole lot. In terms of things I've been watching.
Yeah, well, you said you tried to watch it, so does that mean
I'm still in the middle of it.
Oh, okay, I was going to say, it was awful that you couldn't finish it?
And I'm not sure if I want to, because I've got better stuff to do. And I've seen it all before.
Oh, you were just nerding out for fun?
Yeah.
Basically.
But you haven't seen it, so I can't ask you questions.
No, I've seen the first one. I saw it with Heath Ledger.
That's the second one.
Is that the second one?
Yeah.
What's the first one then?
Batman Begins, and there's The Dark Knight, and then The Dark Knight Rises.
Maybe I did see Batman Begins then. I feel like I wouldn't have just watched it on its own. But, I mean, Batman... No, what was the other one? What was the second one? The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
That was really good. I enjoyed that. I would...
I don't really have that much meaningful to say about it, except that it's like that. Those movies were so successful, and they were like, you know what? Let's never make superhero movies like that again. Let's go back to wearing colourful costumes and be all cheesy and be like, yeah, fight the aliens, rather than like the Dark Knight trilogy was amazing because it really blended the ridiculousness of the comic books, like the League of Shadows, into like a real world. He felt like Gotham was an actual real city.
Yeah, that's true.
And it could actually exist in this world.
What who directed those? Were they different
Christopher
directors?
Nolan.
No, it was all they were all Christopher Nolan, were they? That's right. He's he the one who did Inception?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he's good. I like him. That's a great movie. I'd like to watch that again, yeah.
Oh, yes.
I'd like to watch that again.
I love the first half. The first half is one of my favourite movies, and I don't like the end because it's like, once they're like, okay, let's go, we've planned it all out, now let's go do it. It's like, well, I know you've planned it. I don't need to watch the rest of it. The planning was exciting, but I don't know, for me anyway.
I guess so.
Because then it's just like, oh, we're shooting people in a dream. It's like, well, there's no real stakes because can you die in the dream like the Matrix? I don't know.
Yes. I don't really remember it that much. Yeah. Like, I remember it. I remember enjoying it. And then I remember, I love movies where you could probably watch it again and again, and then you would
the other thing
find
is
different things.
This is a left-hand driving car, but because they just pushed it over here for Australia, so all the things are on the wrong side.
Oh, that's annoying. Actually, no, our Jeep's like that.
Yeah.
So, but like...
Well, it's okay now automatic because it's like you don't have to change gears, but the demo model I tried was a manual. I'm like, how can you be changing gears and putting the flicker on at the same time?
That's so annoying. You have to like move your arm over. I miss manuals though. I get bored in my auto.
Do you want to be a like rev head like?
Yeah, like
rev that key.
The manuals are fun.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't driven one in ages. Actually, my friend let me drive hers. When was it? Oh, like last year sometime. I think I only stalled it once, and I was like, considering I've not driven a manual in about, 2 years or something at least.
Yeah.
So it wasn't bad. I was quite proud of myself.
Did you watch Interstellar?
No, I've still not seen that.
It's probably not worth seeing if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those films. What's the other one where they're stuck in space? The Sandra Bullock one?
Gravity.
Yeah. Fuck that.
There's 0 point to seeing that because the only point of that movie is to see it on a big screen. Like, literally, it's just her escaping from a spaceship, and that's the whole movie. There's no actual plot. Like, it's not like you can get some in-depth insight into life from it. It's only about the actual visceralness of being in the cinema going, holy crap.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to see it. I was like, fuck that. Could you imagine? Nah.
It is pretty scary.
Yeah. No. Not watching that. I mean, the likelihood of me going into space is probably... It's not very high.
Well, you never know.
But who knows? They might call me up tomorrow and be like, hey, Tanya, we're going to send you up.
We need to put a show on for the astronauts.
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Will that ever become a thing?
Yeah, I reckon.
In the next 10 years?
It could be. You might have be playing mums by the time it happens, or grandmothers. But
yeah. Oh, it's fine.
You're already doing that, right? So,
if I can be like Judi Dench and have a career that lasts that long, no worries. I'm cool with that. I'll go up into space. No problem. But yes, what else have you been consuming?
I think that's about it, really.
Really? That's all?
I don't have my list to look at, so I don't know.
What?
I don't have my list to look at because I'm driving.
Oh, Game of Thrones.
Oh, Game of Thrones. Okay, well. But you don't watch it.
I don't watch that either. No, I feel like I should, but I just don't. And I see everyone gets so excited about it, and I'm so far behind for me to start. They're up to season 5? Yeah. Season 6? So I'm just stressing them. I'm not going to catch up, and, all have been given away.
It's probably better to watch it all in one chunk rather than waiting, because now, you're waiting, it's so long between seasons that you just forget what's happened. So I would kind of wish I'd waited to the end and just watched it in one hit.
True. I mean, I tried. There was 2 episodes. I think my housemate and I in London tried to watch it when it first started, and we were like, nah.
I didn't like the first episode, but I think...
Yeah, the first 2, I think we the first one we're like, no, we'll watch one more, and then I think we're just like, nah, we're good. But maybe we just didn't commit hard enough. We didn't try hard enough to enjoy the show. But speaking of Game of Thrones, did I mention this before? That there's this singer? I think I did. I feel like I did. Riley Ritchie, who is an actor on Game of Thrones.
Okay, yeah, I remember you mentioning that.
Yeah, and how I got his album the other day, so basically just had that
preview. Riley Ritchie, yes, he plays the...
Grey Worm.
Pardon?
Grey Worm.
Grey Worm.
Apparently.
Yes.
I don't know who that is, but that's who it is.
But I bet you most people don't know who Grey Worm is, but he's the leader of the...
Can you explain?
He's the leader of the guys that all... There's an army of men who've all been castrated, and he's the leader
eunuchs.
of them. Yes.
He's the leader of the eunuchs.
The Unsullied. Something like that.
Right. Yes, so he does music on the side. His acting name is...
He's a big podcast fan. He would probably listen to this.
Jacob Anderson, hey?
Riley Ritchie's a big podcast listener.
Is he really?
He might be into this.
How do you know that?
Because he guested on one of the podcasts I listen to, and he's like, man, I'm here just because I love this podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah, well, let's get in touch. I've got him on Snapchat, but he never posts anything.
You can tweet to him and say it.
Yeah, he never tweet snaps anything.
Snaps.
And on Snapchat. But no, I was so excited. Yeah, like I said, I saw him on Graham Norton and was like, oh my God, he's on Graham Norton. And then he talked about his album, and I just got so amped up about it, not just being, on YouTube. So I went and bought the album. I basically just had that on repeat in my car for the past, 2 weeks, I think.
So you recommend...
Well, I like it because I like that stuff.
I meant to check it out after he was on the podcast with, what music... Because he actually has his actor's name is something completely different.
Jacob Anderson, I'm pretty sure.
Maybe,
that's his acting name.
Yeah.
And he's got a few extra video clips that I didn't see because he released the album. So, there's some really good songs on there. I think the first 5 I'm really into. I mean, I like them all, but between an 18-track CD, you're gonna like more than others, aren't you? But yeah, the first 4 or 5, and then there's a few at the end, and yeah, it's good. I like that British sort of rap. One of my favourite songs was Bloodsport, and that one was originally around a while ago.
Is it like The Streets?
I don't know who that is.
They were the original British rappers who they don't really rap or sing, they're just sort of talking in their songs.
No, he can't. He sings a bit. It's in between. Because do you know who Example is?
Example?
Yeah.
What? Is someone called Example?
His name's Example.
Okay.
Yeah. He. I'm just trying to think what song you would know. I feel like
this guy thinks it's 100 still.
He put on the.
This actually has a radar in front that's telling me I'm too close to him.
Oh really? Does this one go? Does your car go off when you've got when you've got speed cameras and stuff?
No.
It's not one of those?
Well, you can plug your phone in, and if your phone can detect the speed cameras, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, Example, he did Shot Yourself in the Foot Again, and what other songs that were were on the radio that were quite big? He did a song with Calvin Harris. He's done he basically was started off rapping, and then he went more dance, rappy, singy stuff. Anyway, it's kind of a bit like that in some parts. So yeah, I dig it. He reminds me of a guy from my old work in London, who there was lots of sexual tension there.
Oh, right.
So he reminds me of this guy.
Does this help you get certain places?
What? He's in the album.
Yeah. I don't know.
No.
I thought that's where you were getting with that.
No, I just mean that because he's good looking.
All right.
He's cute.
Yeah.
He's a good looking dude. So, but he looks very much like this guy from my old work.
Yeah.
So that's a fun fact. No one really cares, but anyway. Thought I'd share. But yeah, when you had written Game of Thrones on the show notes, I was like, oh, that's what I can do. That could be my input. There you go. Woo.
You reminded me, I did have something on that list from ages ago that I meant to talk about, but I didn't, because I'm not a big music person.
Right.
But
I am.
I followed this. Did you remember The Matrix? The movie, I assume you did.
Yes.
There was one of those really famous sort of pieces of music from that you'd probably recognise if you heard, was done by Rob Dugan, or Duggan. He's an Australian, I guess, composer / musician.
Okay.
And I followed him on Twitter, but there's so much stuff on Twitter, you miss stuff. So I completely missed that last year that he had released his first album in like 10 years, and it wasn't even an album, it was just an EP, so it was only like 5 songs, but it was like, this is like real composition, like he's actually got it's not just him at a mixing board making electronic beats, it's like he's got a full orchestra playing it, and this music isn't on iTunes or anything, you can only buy it from his website, and you can only buy it in like really high quality.
Yeah.
You know,
it's probably the kind of music that if you didn't buy it that way, it would just sound shit.
Yeah, and I'm like, so I bought it because I kind of like what this guy does, and he's Australian, so I want to support him. And but then I get this really high quality. I'm like, geez, I don't have any headphones that do this justice. I'm gonna have to, and I never will now because I have to buy a car. But I have to get some really high quality headphones that you can actually appreciate the sound and the quality of the recording.
Yeah.
But what was interesting and what reminded me to talk about it this week was that I just got an email from him saying there's an update. And if you re-download it now, the music's been remixed, like not remixed in a completely different song, but just mastered differently in a way that he prefers. Like he's changed things. And that's what, basically, apparently that's what Kanye West has been doing with his new album, is he's just been, he keeps on changing stuff. So like basically every time you go to stream it, you're hearing like a different version of the song. Like it's kind of like software, you're patching in updates as you go.
Wow.
But some people...
That's crazy.
...think that's a really interesting way of doing art. I mean, everyone hates how George Lucas did that with Star Wars, but they're giving these musicians a bit of a pass. But what people don't like is that, like George Lucas, who hasn't ever made the original Star Wars available, you can only get the modified, updated versions, and people don't like that. They're kind of really annoyed about it. And some people worry that because these people bought the album only to be able to stream it from the cloud, they don't have a copy of the original they bought. So if they like the version with that person singing on it, they now don't have access to it because they didn't download it originally.
Yeah. True, that is a bit
because the copy on the cloud is the new version.
Yeah.
And it might have a completely different singer on it and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's interesting, though. I didn't know that you could even do that. That's crazy.
This is where the internet and...
So have you listened to his stuff?
Rob Dugan?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Although it's such high quality, it doesn't sync to my phone. So I'm going to have to find a way to convert it down to like a quality that can play on the phone.
How interesting. Well, I feel like you know what it is also? Do you think that seasonal affective disorder is a thing?
As in you get grumpy?
Well, like you get actual winter blues. Do you think that's a thing?
I think I believe in like the circadian rhythm and all that, and if that gets disrupted, which can be done in winter by the fact that it's dark when you wake up.
Yeah.
Daylight actually, when you wake up to daylight, it changes your brain. It changes the way your brain works, Yeah. And like if you've ever stayed awake for a long period of time, like multiple days, without going to sleep, you're like at 4 a.m. or whatever, you're like dying. You're like, I can't do this. I gotta go to sleep. And then dawn comes up, the daylight goes in your eyes. It's like, wow, I got an extra bit of push to get through. Do you ever have that?
Yeah, no, that's true.
I don't know if that's related to anything to what you're about to talk about.
Well, no, that I was just asking because I feel like this week has energy-wise has just dipped, and because obviously I'm around a group of people who are very generally quite energetic all the time. That they're quite. You've got to tap into different energies for the acting side of stuff and whatever else. So I don't know. I just feel like everyone's just kind of taken a bit of a slump this week, and I was just thinking, it's the kind of the first week where it's been quite dark, quite early on as well, like earlier. So not like I know it's been darker in the mornings for a couple of weeks, but because we were on break, it wasn't as effective for us. But now that it's getting darker early, like I thought it was like 8:30 when like it was 6:30, and I feel like that takes that. Like people just kind of get lethargic and they're like blue. So I'm just wondering, how many people kind of actually get affected if people think it's a real thing or they think it's Definitely. You know, you go places, you know, on the north side, northern hemisphere, and the places that only get sunlight for like 4 hours in winter.
Yeah.
Or like 2 hours. And they have, you know, high suicide rates, and it's crazy. Mm-hmm. Because, imagine it'd be pretty intense darkness for 20 hours a day.
There's a town in Wales that had a heap of suicides, and I know. I'm a big believer in the benefits of like vitamin D.
Yeah, I took some when I was living in London, and that wasn't even as bad. It just was definitely like different. That's all. Yeah. So, but it's just vitamin D. I mean, again, it's a placebo effect. At the same time, like. You know, in the winter over there, it was because I'd finished work at 6, which isn't even late, but because the sun would go down at about 4 at the earliest, when it was the peak winter, you know, it'd been dark for 2 hours already. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes we'd have open days, like from where I was working, and so my lunch break would be, so I'd start at midday, and finish at 8 instead, so my lunch break would be at like 4, so that would fuck me up, because I'd go out in darkness. Yeah. For my lunch break, like it was, so stuff like that. It's it's interesting. Like, so I've just looked up signs and symptoms. May consist of difficulty waking up in the morning, nausea, tendency to oversleep and overeat, especially a craving for carbohydrates, which leads to weight gain. Other symptoms include a lack of energy, difficulty concentrating on or completing tasks, withdrawal from friends, family, and social activities, and a decreased sex drive. Oh, wow. And then underneath it's got bipolar with seasonal pattern and specifier for bipolar and related disorders. Oh, okay. Anyway, so that's I just thought I'd bring that up. It's interesting. I tend to feel a little bit. I love winter though, winter days. Yeah. And nights too, but it definitely can just affect mood though as well. Yeah. Mm-hmm. For sure. So on here, we've got some hot topics we want to discuss. Anything be bugging you this week?
Well, I was going to ask you about my question of the week.
Yes. Do you remember it?
Yes. If you, like tonight, they've got a $40 million jackpot in the Powerball.
How did I not know about this?
Well, it just keeps going up every week until someone wins.
I know, but 40 million?
Yeah.
I should have bought tickets.
Yeah.
What is your question?
You win the $40 million. Boom, you got it.
Oh my god.
Apparently, in Australia, you don't get taxed on it, so you get to keep the whole 40 mil.
Wow.
Right? So in your bank account, you got $40 million. Now, obviously, you're going to do the responsible thing, like pay off your student debt, your car loans, any other debts you have, maybe even help your parents out with debt. And you've done that.
Yeah, well, with 40 mil, yeah.
And you've bought, maybe on the first night you've gone, been on the town, bought some expensive cocktails. You've got that all out your system for the first night. You paid off the debt, so you've done all the responsible things. Now you've got to make your first ridiculously frivolous purchase. You got it right.
Oh, of course.
What's it going to be for you?
Ridiculously frivolous.
As in, this is something
Does it have to be ridiculously frivolous?
It's not financially responsible to buy it.
Yeah.
But because you're celebrating, you're just like, still got 30, after paying off my parents' debts and everything, I still got 38 mil in the bank. I'm going to just drop something on something kind of...
What would I... completely frivolous? I would...
It has to still have some value, obviously, because it has to be like...
Okay, so it's
you have to want it. You can't just be like, I'll just, crash a Ferrari just to see what happens.
Okay.
But you could. You could do that if you really cared about what happens when a Ferrari crashes.
Honestly, I'd probably just pick up and go around the world first class for for a while.
Is that
after
frivolous though?
I don't. That's exactly
that's kind
it.
of
I don't
seeing
think
the world and becoming a better person.
Yeah, but it's not. That's what I mean. It's not. It's not frivolous, but that would be my first thought after the responsible things. Would be to okay, well then, off you go.
Who would
do
you
crazy
take with
things? I don't know. I mean, I guess with 40 mil or 38 mil, whatever, you kind of expect it to pay, aren't you?
Yeah.
For everything. So it's kind of like, do I take...
How would you do it? First class on a plane, you wouldn't hire a private jet or anything?
No, that's a bit excessive.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll have the money, but...
But you would fly first class. It's about the same price, I think, depending on the airline you're in, I guess.
No, to get a jet and flying first class.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it depends. If you're going internationally, then I think, yeah. I mean, if you buy an apartment on an A380 double-decker jet, they're like $35,000 to go from like Perth to England or something.
No, they're not. I just mean normal first class.
Oh, okay.
Like in the front.
You wouldn't even get a fancy first class, like a cabin.
Oh, maybe for like one
journey.
One of the like long
happens.
hauls. Yeah, just see what it's like. But I'm not really into like just because every now and then, yeah. So like I'd probably do it for one of the trips and then be like, okay, I'm gonna just be in normal first class because that's not normal either. But besides that frivolous, you know what? I'd like to invest in I'd like to produce my own musical or something because they cost lots of money.
Like where though? In Perth? Like open a theatre in Perth?
I guess that would be a nice thing to do for Perth and some sort of theatre company that they can keep using and people can then obviously they maybe do something every year and get a bit more things happening in Perth. But I just mean in general, it depends on where it would be, where I would collaborate with people. Yeah. So if I had to go overseas, then I'd go overseas and I'd sort out, and maybe I'd put some money into it or help to
bring a big star over.
Yeah.
Bring it to Perth.
Well, I mean, obviously, you'd want to be in it, but then at the same time, you'd be like, well,
we could just hire Hugh
help with the
Jackman
direction,
to be your
help with it. Yeah, I could.
So that would be pretty frivolous.
Yeah, that's like the epitome of frivolous. The first thing that comes to mind is, I'll do it. I
feel like you could just act right next to Hugh Jackman.
Oh yeah, well
just because you got the money.
Yeah, exactly. Just because, be like, I have money, so come work with me.
I'm not saying that you don't have that skills. I'm sure you can, but people will be commenting, going, "Oh my gosh, she's just buying."
Of course.
You have to be able to deal with that.
Yeah, no. But that's what I mean. That's why my first thing is I just didn't maybe invest in producing something that I really wanted to, like a movie or they're doing Anastasia on Broadway at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, they're working on it to get put up, and that's been a long time favourite.
Musical or story? Is it a musical?
It's a movie, cartoon movie musical.
Okay.
thing.
So you love that movie.
Yeah.
And they're going to make a Broadway musical of it?
Yeah, because it's a musical...
In the movie? Okay.
It's a musical movie, yeah. But they obviously have to add more songs in for it to be a musical. Yeah. So they're working on that. And, and so something like that I would have loved to have worked on that they haven't made yet, Doesn't have to be necessarily corporate. Or, no, you know what would be better? To just go over and get people to send me their original ideas for musicals.
Yeah.
And then I can pick one that sounds awesome. It's maybe some unknown writer or whatever, and just because I'd have the money to back it up.
Yeah.
To if it was amazing, and just see where it went. Who knows? I mean, it could flop.
Yeah.
Or it could be amazing.
Or maybe it could be a success and your money isn't frivolous. It's
exactly
wisely invested.
Exactly. So that's kind of like half 50-50.
Yeah.
Could be a frivolous investment, could not be. So that would be interesting to do. That's more just my morbid curiosity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you become a citizen of the world with that kind of money? Is that a thing?
What's a citizen of the world?
I don't know.
I think you don't need a passport to go.
Yeah. No, you need a passport, but a global, like a gold passport. Does that exist?
I don't know. Maybe they'll let you into the Illuminati if you're that rich. You probably need $40 billion, not 40.
That's true. Who has $40 billion? People have... No, you know what? I don't even want to know because people have that. So... It's just depressing. $40 billion. $40 billion.
Yeah.
How?
It's all tied up in shares and stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah, but still, that's crazy. What would you do? What's your frivolous investment?
Well, when I was discussing this with my friends, I said I would probably buy a Tesla, which is going back to the car thing again.
You and your fucking Teslas.
Yeah, I am a bit obsessed with Teslas. And because it's not just that, I feel like you're supporting an amazing thing. It's not, the car doesn't care so much about it. It's the idea that you're supporting Tesla. Do you know what I mean? It's this company by this crazy guy, Elon Musk, I talked to you about. You know, you get this car that doesn't pollute, but the thing is, it's also a lot cheaper to run. So it's not even, I'm thinking it's not even a frivolous purchase, it's actually a wise purchase, because you use that money to buy stuff so that the rest of your life is really cheap, and you're not wasting money in the rest of your life. So if you bought a Tesla and it only costs $2 a tank to fill up with electricity rather than $40 a tank, you know, that's probably a responsible thing to do.
$2 a tank?
Yeah.
What? It's crazy.
And if you have solar panels, then it's for free. You just charge up with the sun.
You can get 2 of those and then...
Yeah, I got a Tesla and some solar panels on my roof and a battery to run the solar panel when the solar panels are at night time. Anyway, so it's not really a frivolous purchase. So I was like, I need to think of something else. And it connects back to what we were talking about last week.
Yeah.
Is what my current thing is. I want a hot personal assistant.
What? That's not... We were talking about muses last week. Not hot personal assistants.
Well, she could be like a muse, you know?
Right,
yeah,
so you're going to use your money to buy a good-looking woman.
Employ a good-looking
James,
woman.
that is the most sexist thing I've ever...
Is it?
Well, it's not the most, but it's pretty up there.
Is it sexist, though? That's a good argument, right? You're looking for someone exceptionally...
talented, not good-looking.
Huh? Well, you want someone talented as well.
Well, yeah.
But you want someone who'll make a great impression when you're setting things up with potential clients and stuff.
Oh, but if they're dumb as a doorknob, but they're beautiful.
Right, but they have to be good at their job, though. They have to be good at really scheduling
so you're just trying to justify hiring a good-looking person as long as they're good at their job.
Yeah.
Wow. That's not a muse. That's just you trying to be a
No, I'm not saying this has nothing to do with the muse. It actually kind of connects back.
Yeah.
In a way. Because maybe that muse can fill that role for you and you get to pay them.
Do you fancy yourself as a bit of a Hugh Hefner character?
No, but I wouldn't want... you know, like I said with the muse, you don't want to touch them. But you imagine...
You'd want to touch
a hot personal assistant, she probably has lots of hot friends. And so you throw work Christmas parties, but it's only 2 of us. It's like, oh, bring your hot friends.
Wow. The fact that that's the first thing that came to your mind really worries me.
Well, it's the second thing after Tesla.
That really, really worries me. That the second thing you think of in your frivolous of all the things you do
That's pretty frivolous, though.
You might as well hire a prostitute.
Well, I don't want to pay for sex.
But you're paying for your assistant.
Yeah.
And thus paying to possibly hook up with their friends.
Do you understand the power, how powerful a beautiful woman is? And if you have one in your arsenal, you can get so much more stuff done.
Right. But can I just
do you
also
understand
rewind?
like this? You know, we talk about male privilege, like we dominate society and stuff like that. You don't. You don't appreciate it because you're like a photogenic woman yourself.
Photogenic.
I was trying to think the most appropriate thing to say. Like,
well, yeah. Well, I don't know.
So
I don't know.
You don't understand what like for everyone else who aren't photogenic women?
Well, I had some pretty awful photos taken of me recently, can I just say? But yeah. But then that's being photogenic is different for different people. Some people might look at my photos of me and be like, "Are you fucking serious?"
Right, but I'm just talking about. You know, you put them in a dress and high heels, and people turn heads. You know.
Yeah. That's also a bit about attitude, though, really, too.
Yeah.
So, but I just find something else very interesting. What you said. Also, you said your hot assistant that you intend to buy.
No, I pay her a salary to help sort things out.
Yeah,
get stuff done.
But the fact that in your criteria, she must be good looking. You said that she obviously has good looking friends. Let me ask you: do you think that good looking females travel in packs? Is this your theory?
Well, good looking, intelligent females travel in packs. I've noticed that for sure.
Why, really? Can't they? Why aren't they just all intelligent and the old ones good looking? Do they all have to be beautiful and intelligent?
I think.
Or are they attractive because they're intelligent?
Well, for the purposes of an assistant?
No, I'm just taking that statement of you wanting your hot assistant to bring her hot friends, as she obviously has. I'm just meaning that do you guys think that they all travel in packs?
I don't know. You would have to audition a lot of them or something, or interview them. Do you know what I mean?
What, men?
No, lots of interviews.
Well, no, I'm asking you.
It's like if
I'm asking you if you think that that's what happens.
I don't know. I mean anecdotally, yes. I don't have statistics to back that up.
Well, not statistics, but just from your personal what's the word? Experiences. Yeah, or exposure to females.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Interesting. That's interesting. Like if I've
just seen groups, and I don't know how they form, of women, and like they all went to like a private school, and they've had like really good education, and there's a lot of pressure on to compete with each other, so they've all got really good. It's not just they get an education, but they get really good grades as well. And then they form groups within the private school, saying, "Oh, we want to get together as a bunch of hot girls to attract as many hot boys as possible."
I mean, I don't think that really ever happens. You have to be good looking. You can't sit with us if you're not good looking.
Yeah.
I don't think that directly happens, but I guess the like-minded people, again, depending on what you find attractive, they'll probably dress similar sort of styles, or they'll dress.
So if you wanted a frivolous personal assistant, your life isn't even busy enough to justify one, but it would be awesome to have one, and you were interviewing people, they're all equally talented, you wouldn't take the hottest one.
Well, you're asking me as a single female right now.
I guess I can trust myself to not keep the workplace safe.
You're right. I probably would pick of equal skill. I'd probably pick the best looking one if I was single, so that I could possibly, but
hook up. That's inappropriate.
But
You're accusing me.
Yeah, it's inappropriate, but I didn't think of that. that was your frivolous thing that you wanted to buy your hot assistant.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that. I mean, if it happened to fall into my lap, well then I'm not gonna deny that. But I actually wanted to ask you. I thought of this earlier. I think we talked about Married at First Sight.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Would you ever go on that? Would you ever sign up for that? What do you think of that scientifically?
What? So to explain the show to me?
Basically, you sign up. It's
you sign
dating.
Up for the show.
You sign up for the show, and they put you through a bunch of tests and quizzes, and what you like, what you want, blah blah. And then they try and match you up. And if they find someone for you, basically, means you get married at first sight, and then they fast track you through all the stages of a relationship, but backwards. So then you get married.
Do you get married before you go through that stuff?
Yeah, so you get married first. So you meet at
you meet at the wedding.
You meet at the wedding as she's walking down the aisle. Then they have a honeymoon for a few days. Then they move in together. And then at the end of the experiment, they see how because obviously it's so contained and so fast paced. Everything's kind of intense and like very real for them. So at the end of the experiment, they do say whether they want to continue being married, and this time, so they pick 4 couples for the show, and this time 2 out of the 4 stayed together.
Oh wow!
I mean, I think they're still together now.
Did they already?
Long term, but
were they already pretty kidding after honeymoon? Because I figured by the end of the honeymoon, you know whether it's worth pursuing.
Were they what before the honeymoon?
Were they? You were after the honeymoon. You're pretty certain they're going to stay together because I don't see how the therapy stuff afterwards would help.
No, it's not therapy. It's just to put them in situations where they get to know each other more.
Oh, okay.
Because you're in the honeymoon phase of the honeymoon, and then they move in together, and obviously you've got to make sacrifices for living and what they do, and So it's.
I feel like traveling together with someone, you would by the end of the trip you would.
It's not that long though. They just send them on a honeymoon for a few days, and then they bring them back. Okay. Yeah, and then they live together for a month, I think.
You see, traveling, you end up seeing the worst.
Oh, you
and
do,
the best
but
of
they don't do it as like, let's go traveling and see things. Let's go to one location and honeymoon for a few days.
Yeah.
So it's not that kind of travel, and then they live together for a month. Anyway, but would you... I'm because it's interesting scientifically how they try and match the people.
Yeah.
And they see whether they got it right as to... Would you do that? Would you ever sign up for that?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah? Really? You'd get married at first sight?
Yeah.
If they found you, so where you got through it and you got to the end, they were like, James, you're getting married to someone you don't know.
It's one of my life goals is to have at least one ridiculous marriage in my life.
That's a good interesting life goal. I mean, some would argue about the sanctity of marriage with you.
Well, it's not really when they don't let the gays in.
Yeah, well,
it's really valueless in Australia. Maybe.
Well, exactly, but that's why actually a couple of my gay friends were quite pissed off about this TV show specifically because of how stupid though they get. I
would be celebrating. Like, look, see, it's people complaining that us being allowed to get married is somehow against it when they can do this ridiculous show. It's more ammunition to say that you should be able to have.
Oh, exactly. That's why they got annoyed. A couple of my gay friends were like, "Yeah, this is just ridiculous. Mockery of marriage, but we're not allowed to get married if we want to be together forever." I totally agree. But so you would.
Oh yeah, for sure. I would love that experience.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I would probably be matched with someone horrible that I would hate, but what a story to tell.
Well, you'd want to hope not.
What a story for this podcast.
You'd want to. Well, are you going to say? I think they're recruiting for the next season. You should sign up.
I don't think they're going to pick me.
No, well, it's not about whether they pick you for the show. It's whether they find someone to match you.
Yeah.
So that would be likely. I'll apply. Oh my God, can you apply? Go look it up when you get home. I'm not applying. I joked about it. I'm curious.
Why wouldn't you apply? So you really believe in marriage, the special thing?
Well, yes and no. I quite like experiments. So it's an experience. So from that point of view, it intrigues me to see whether we would, who they picked for me if they found somebody how we would actually be together. So that's more, again, curiosity.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I actually would sign up for it at the end of the day. But I find it's intriguing for sure.
Yeah.
And I guess the stakes, you can't just place them together and be like, okay, you're dating now. I guess they're raising the stake to the fact that they're married, technically, kind of, for that month or whatever, does add to the... Yeah, so it's interesting. You can go home, look it up, and sign up.
biggest hindrance to that show is it on commercial TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the thing that's stopping. If it was like SBS or ABC doing it, I would actually...
There's so many of these...
Totally
that's also what I want to talk about. There's so many of these shows coming out at the moment where they're... there's one at Kiss Bang Love.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that one?
No.
Yeah, I think that's what it's called. I can't remember what channel. It might be on SBS. But basically, they blindfold one person and she kisses lots of men. I was like, how did I not hear about this one? I would have signed up for this one.
Yeah.
And basically, like, based on the chemistry, she picks a couple of them to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And then she sees them. And so and then she talks about, like, I don't know what else happens. I've only seen, it hasn't started yet. It's only the ads that I've seen so far. But, yeah. But there's so many. And the 7-year switch therapy one that they did with the couples.
Oh, yeah. Jessica was a big fan of that. That was her demise because she was just amazed by that show.
Oh, I just, like, the first 2 episodes or something, I didn't even bother. Like, I saw it in bits. But I'm like, this is ridiculous because you could just tell the difference between them actually what's working for them and the producers making shit awkward just for good television. Yeah. That's what annoyed me. I've watched the last couple of episodes now that it's kind of petered off away from focusing on the big things that the producers have done to get viewers.
Yeah.
It is kind of interesting, but again, it's all experimental and they just want to get a rise out of.
What they should do is like do that married at first sight thing and put wireless microphones on them like we have right now and just let people pay money to listen into the radio station that is broadcasting their conversation for the entire honeymoon. And so you're getting to know these 2 people as intimately as the couples themselves. I would pay a lot of money to listen to that.
True. That's really interesting. I don't think...
That's going to be the future of reality TV is just, they did stuff like this back when the internet first came out. Like, Justine, who's a big YouTube star now, she started off as a person who had she had a hat and that had a webcam on her all the time and it just broadcasted to the internet.
Uh-huh. Wow.
But I reckon, reality TV, you'll be able to sell the exclusive rights to your life and people just subscribe just to listen to you all the time.
That's crazy.
I mean, I guess porn stars do that at the moment anyway.
That's a commitment though. Like,
I
feel like that's almost selling your soul in a weird way.
Would you ever do a cam show?
A what, sorry? A cam show?
Yeah.
Like, come lots of boys look at my camera show.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, women can make a lot of money putting themselves on the internet and guys tip them to do things. Do you ever have that?
Is it bad that I've not said no straight out? I don't feel like that's slight indication.
But I mean, this is obviously a guy who went on, unless you're maybe big in the gay community, you just wouldn't make money at all. So it's not even a consideration. It's just like, that's the same as being a prostitute. But you can make so much money doing it that it has to cross a girl's mind every time she's like struggling to pay the phone bill.
I've joked about becoming a stripper.
Yeah.
But half joke but half serious.
But with a stripper, you have to go to a club and guys are there.
Yeah, that's
Rather
true.
than if you're just on a camera in your room and you can't see the guys, it's just a text chat and they're just tipping you. And
well, I don't know if I'd make it that interactive. I think I'd just be like, you can watch. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I'd
but you want to entertain your clients, you get to know them, you have your regulars, and you want to make sure they're happy and you get more tips, and you get addicted to the tips.
I don't think I'd go that far. I think if I was doing it, it would be for the fact that I just needed money, like, ASAP. I don't think I'd be thinking of it as a business.
Yeah.
Keeping my regulars.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd quite get onto that. There was actually an episode of Desperate Housewives I remember years ago. Did you ever watch that show?
No.
I did a little bit when I was younger, and they were really poor, but she didn't want to tell her friends or something. The other Desperate Housewives.
Yeah.
And she started doing one at home as well, and her husband didn't know about it, and it's her in like a little maid outfit around the house. And I remember thinking, that's hilarious. And like, you know, but that she's kind of like, well, you know, I can make money doing this, so why not? I was like, yeah, right. Fair enough.
If you have a question that you would like to ask us on the show, you can send it to mailbag@gimmerishfm.com, or just check the show notes on your app, and there's a link there. I think you can just have a smartphone, you should be able to just tap it, it'll open your email program for you, and you can send us a question.
That would be awesome.
And we can
send us lots of questions. Random, insightful. I feel like I'm having a chat. Send them.
I have one more question for you.
Okay.
Tanya.
Yes.
Do you believe in pheromones?
What?
Do you know what pheromones are?
Yes, yeah.
Are they a real thing?
I think they're a real thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're a real thing. It's attraction, like chemical reactions in the body. Like,
and
why would they
think
not
it's like,
be a real
well,
thing?
he just smells nice, or it's just something is happening and I don't know what it is. I don't know why I'm more attracted to this person to other people.
Yeah. No, the latter, what you just said. Because, like, yes, people can smell good from, you know, they might wear a certain cologne that you particularly fancy. Like, I have a specific cologne that if a guy wears it, I'm all over that.
Yeah.
Like, all over them.
Am I going fast? I can't tell. I don't know. It's the same speed.
But it's different if you're just... Yeah, it's chemical. That's when you're kind of just drawn to them. That's different. And people naturally have a different scent too. I remember being in Europe and having people that I was talking to or that I'd meet, or, you know, someone would, and they'd be like, you smell so good. And I'm like, what? I'm not wearing anything right now because I've, you know, been travelling for a couple of
So it's just the smell. You've never just, like, I remember I met this girl and I didn't really know her that well. There wasn't anything that special about her. I mean, she had 2 arms and 2 legs. She had
standards, James. You got
she had all the bits in the right places.
Oh, that's good.
But there was just something like, well, I don't know what it is, but like something's spider senses are tingling.
Yeah, no, I believe in pheromones.
And do you think that's pheromones, or do you think I was just stood up too fast and had a bit too much caffeine? I was feeling a bit.
No, I don't think it was that. I mean, I believe in chemistry, so that comes, you know, the pheromones constitute as part of that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, I don't know. It sucks when you have that, and it's usually like that instant connection with people as well. And when things don't kind of, you know, continue. And
I guess she was very, like, you know, she was very chatty and responsive, and it's like, well, I'm getting positive reinforcement for this.
Yeah, that's true. That's interesting.
Right?
Yeah. It's interesting when you're wondering if they're getting a similar sort of vibe as you, because that could be attractive to you.
Yeah.
But they might not be attracted to you in return.
Yeah.
So that's interesting too. I don't know. We should find an article on that for next week and read up on it, because I don't try and follow up on it and find out how, you know, how good pheromones, and how how many experiments, and what's the laughing at me.
Sometimes you get a bit, I don't know, and I don't know what's triggering it.
What, you mean me going off into like tangents?
Yeah, it sounds like you're getting flustered. Anyway.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, no, I don't know if I've explained... I left in here yet.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've explained this to you before. My brain works in a very... it, like, fires all over the place.
Yeah.
And I think about 5 different things before I open my mouth. So sometimes I can jump to different things because I think that you're not a mind reader, but I think that I've said it out loud.
Yeah, okay.
So I kind of, which is it's frustrating, but I can't help it. I just overthink lots of things, so I just kind of end up having all these it's everywhere, and it's like I'm having 10 conversations with myself. Which is kind of, that doesn't make me crazy, okay?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, Tanya, we're about to finish our little
road
trip. Where can we find you on the internet?
So, you can find me at Tanya Alice on Twitter. So, that's TANIA AALIS _. And you can find James
at the guy called Tom
even though his
on
name's
Twitter,
James.
at Instagram. I don't really use Instagram, but you can find Jimmy's FM at jimmysfm.com. You can see the full show notes there. The links, the stuff that we've talked about. You can follow Jimmy's FM if you want alerts to say, oh God, we're about to go live. Follow the Jimmy's FM Twitter account because it's a low volume thing. We only tweet when either there's a new episode or we're about to go live. So you want to know, get instant notifications, turn the notifications off for Twitter on for that.
Yes.
Twitter account.
I use Instagram, so if you guys want to stalk my Instagram, it's TANCHE_XI as well. I doubt it's not. I mean, it's not that interesting.
What does XI stand for?
It's just 11.
Okay.
so I was trying to be cool with I think I got it in 2011. So you know.
We're also on Facebook at /JimmishFM. Facebook.com/JimmishFM.
Give us a like.
We'll catch you next week.
On the flip side.
Bye.